Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I'm Star. Yes, y'all, I am recording the day before, okay? And, I could, what I'm saying, I guess, put on a different outfit, but I just think that is nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Anyways. So, yes, today I will be I'm recording once again the day before because tomorrow when the videos that I am now recording post, I'm going to be busy getting ready, baby, for March Madness. So you know what I'm saying? Happy leap year. Okay, happy leap year to all of the babies that your actual birthday is February 29th. But for reasons you can't, for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, it don't come every year. And most of the time you either have to celebrate on March 1st or February 28th. Happy birthday, darling. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday, darling. I don't know how you count it. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, you skip every 3 years, and you know what I'm saying, you supposed to be 25, but technically you I don't know. Anywho, we're gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying? And I only kid, I'm joking. But anyways, let's let me stop. Obviously I'm bad at it, okay? Obviously not intended to be a comedian. Anyways, I'm here with a message that also came with a vision, okay? So God spoke to me and said, modern men have more problems. They need it worse. Then I saw a vision of a man who was sleeping with several different women and men, okay? In the same apartment, like it was the same house and the same bed, but this was different occasions. So it was kind of like one side, seeing him sleeping with one woman, then the next night he got a different woman, then the next night he got a man, then he got another woman, then he got a man, then he got a woman, then he just doing his thing. Yeah. Okay. The scripture comes from Daniel 14 and 9. But if you can show that Baal consumes them, Daniel shall die for blaspheming Baal. Daniel said to the king, let it be as you say. There were 70 priests of Baal besides their wives and children. So here's the message, okay? God is saying that, for whoever this is for, I just feel like you are under scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? Like there is someone that is trying to, how do I say it? Like this is somebody that they feel like they need to gather you together, or they feel like they need to get you together, and they need to tone you down, and they need you to come down to earth, or come down to where they at, come down to their level. You need to come off your high horse, and they gonna make you get down from there. And they talking about you doing this, and they talking about you doing that, and they don't feel like you should have this, and they don't feel like you should have that. They don't feel as though you deserve the things that God has blessed you with. They don't feel like you should be your own boss, or they don't feel like you should have the position that you have. God say this person is standing on grounds, basically saying that you are a woman, okay? They first of all, they say that you are a woman, and because you are a woman, you should not be able to do what you are doing, nor should you be able to have what you got. Second of all, they are saying, this term modern woman, and they're saying modern woman this and modern woman that, and they have a problem with not only the fact that you are a woman, but they have a problem with the fact of the kind of woman you are. And a lot of times when I hear people speak about this, I do see things from a different stance. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I think it's just kind of like I see it from a different point of view. I see both sides of the argument, but at the same time, I am also understanding. So it's kind of like, from a woman's standpoint, And obviously I'm a woman. Okay, from a woman's standpoint, born a woman that was born a woman. I am a woman, okay? And from a woman's standpoint, from a woman's point of view, if you are put in a position to where you have to do things that may be out of, the idealistic of traditional. Okay, you traditionally, these a lot of these men, they're claiming to be traditional. They're traditional men, and they got to be the head of household, and they want to have traditional ways, and they want their wife to cook and clean and make babies, and they want their wife to be pleasant, and they want her to be fit, and they want her to remain looking a certain way and doing all these things. And you have to understand that it's okay. It's nothing wrong with wanting to be a traditional man. However, a traditional man is, in a standpoint, is the one that is the head of household. He is a provider and a protector. Provider meaning that he provides for everything. He ensures that all the bills are paid. He is not asking his wife, his companion, his partner to work to earn any kind of income to make sure these bills are paid. He is not looking to her to have a job. He is not looking at her to do any of these things. And the interesting thing about this is these same men that are saying they don't want a modern woman, and they feel like they're too bossy and they're too this, they're too that, they ignore the fact that, you 1 second you're saying that you want a woman that is going to be traditional, and then in the next breath you are saying that, well, no, she needs to help too, and she needs to pay some bills too, and she needs to have a job too. But you don't want her to have a job, because when she has a job, she's too bossy. Oh no, you want her to have a job, but you don't want it to be better than your job. You don't want it to be a situation where she went to school to get a job. You don't want it to be a situation to where she has her own business. You don't want that kind of situation, but because she's making too much money and she thinks she's the boss, and she thinks this and she thinks that. And from my own personal experience, a lot of men make this up in their head. It's not even a situation where the woman who is earning more, the woman who has her own business, the woman that is her own boss, is being bossy or being controlling or anything like that. It's like he's feeling insecure because he, work where he work, or he does whatever he does, and he's looking at this woman who is very strong-willed, and she's doing what she has to do. We live in a society today where women have to work. Like it's gotten to that point, regardless to if it's because the woman, the man cannot just provide on his own, or if it's a situation where the woman is single. Okay, in order to live in this world, you can't survive just off of air. And as sad as it is true. It's like you're gonna have to pay rent, a mortgage, you may car, like even if you buy your car cash, you still got to get repairs, insurance. We got to pay for whatever medical situations that you may have going, even if it's just a checkup. Even if you just going for a checkup, you gotta pay. Even, you know what I'm saying? You gotta pay to eat. You have to pay for clothes. You have to pay for, everything costs. And because everything costs, you cannot expect that you're going to find a woman that is like literally doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? That will be very difficult. And if she is in a position to where she is doing nothing, and she's basically just been waiting on her husband to come and sweep her off her feet, you will have to understand 9 out of 10 she lives with her parents. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but even in that situation, I say, well, y'all already know. I say, well, yeah, I stay with my mom, but I still work. You know what I'm saying? It's not a situation where I'm just completely dependent upon my mama, because that will put stress on her, and that's not fair to her. Like, just to be real. So I just feel like, logically, thinking, some men are kind of not really grasping to understand what they want. Okay. And then, to further explain it. You know, most women don't want to just work any old job, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, generations ago, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? There was a time where it's cool. And some people just work regular jobs. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But, you know, at the same time, it's also nothing wrong with someone being like, you know what? I may be traditional. I may want certain things, but I'm going to go to school anyways and get my degree anyways. And while I wait, I'm going to be okay. It's nothing wrong with that. I like, you know, especially if you're in a situation where you can go ahead and start a business and you can pursue your business, because as somebody you already know, it took me years before I started to see any kind of income. And like, it's hard, okay? And you know what I'm saying? If a woman is in a position to where she can and she pursues it and she gets to the point to where she is making a profit, like, you know, you have to like you have to understand it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's nothing wrong with that. While it is nothing wrong with someone working a regular job, it's nothing wrong with a woman having a regular job. But you know what I'm saying? You have to simultaneously see the idea that it's also nothing wrong with a woman thinking to herself, just in case I'm going to get a degree, just in case I'm going to start a business, just in case I'm going to do these things. That way, it's not a situation where y'all meet and she got her hand out, and which a lot of men have a problem with. But you know, these same men that complain about women that will have their hand out, they are also saying, you know what I'm saying? They don't like women that are bosses and they have their stuff together. This is a contradiction. Okay, this is a contradiction. The same men that claim, they scream from the rooftops that all the women they're not, there's no virgins and there's no this and there's no that and there's no this and there's no that. They are nowhere near virgins themselves. The same men are also saying that if they go on a date with a woman and they pay for the date, that she needs to bust it open for them on the first date. And you know, it's kind of like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, if you are really looking for a traditional wife, like you're really looking for someone to make your wife, you are not going to go about on a date with this woman and expect that she's going to bust it open for you on the first date. You have to figure it out. Which one is it? You know what I'm saying? It can't be both. Because if you're looking for someone that's going to bust it on the first date, you're simultaneously going to say that that woman is, you know, not fit to be a wife. And if you feel like the woman is not fit to be a wife, why you going on a date with her if you claim that what you want is a wife? Figure it out. It don't make sense. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. That's what it is. Nonsense. You cannot like say, I'm a traditional man and I'm looking for a traditional woman and I want this kind of woman and dot 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 dot, while simultaneously you yourself are showing that you are not anything near a traditional man. You don't do anything that traditional men do. You have no intention of being the head of household. How do I know this? You know, like I said, ain't nothing wrong with having a regular job. But if you are a man and you are screaming from the rooftops that you want to be the head of your household, you want your wife to cook and clean and take care of the kids, and she needs to do this, that, and the third, and you don't want a woman that's a boss, and you don't want a woman that has a degree, you can't expect that you are going to be able to maintain that if you yourself are not prepared. Just like women have to get prepared, men also need to be prepared. Go get you an education. Get yourself together. Focus. For whoever, focus while doing this. You need to focus while doing this. Not going to college and playing around the whole time you're there, and you're sleeping around with everybody on campus, and while simultaneously expecting that God is going to give you a virgin. Okay. And you know, you cannot you just have to like use logic. Okay. And I just feel like this is it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Instead of getting mad about a woman doing these things, you know, pursuing to have their own business, or pursuing to go to college and get a good job, or pursuing even to build themselves up in whatever job they work in, because you can work your way from the bottom. Do that. This is your preparation. Get ready. Like, instead of playing the entire time, playing throughout your 20s and just doing whatever you want to do, hanging out with your friends and partying your life away, put forth an effort to get yourself together, so when you do meet your wife, it's not a situation where you're basically telling her that you want her to be traditional, and she needs to cook, and she needs to clean, and she needs to take care of the kids, and she needs to do all of these things while simultaneously fighting yourself because you gonna have to work. Like, you can't, like, it's not enough time for that. It's not enough time for that. You cannot expect that she's going to have time to do all these things. In reality, a man that wants a traditional wife, it will make more sense for them to want to be with a woman that has her own business, is a boss of her own business, because that means that she has more time to be at home and do all those things. She will be able to simultaneously do everything she needs to do at the home, in the house, and do her job. And she's still, you know what I'm saying, bringing in some kind of income. But I just feel like this is a situation where God is saying these men are not using logic, and they are constantly complaining about the women, the women, the women, the women, the women, and all they are doing is blowing smoke and complaining. If you want to be the head of household, you claim you are a leader, you claim you are an alpha male, and you got all these things going on, what, act like it. Act like a leader. Lead by example. Instead of taking out your time to complain and whine, how about you get yourself together? Then you can get you a wife from whoever you want, and you actually have a valid point if you tell her, you know what, you ain't got to work no more. I want you to stay at home and take care of the kids. I want you to do this, that, and the third. You won't have to complain if you are required as a man, as the head of household, when you take her out on a date, that you're paying for a meal, but you're not getting anything in return. And then you have to have build up your what is it? Self-control. Okay, stop. Don't be so lustful. And you know what I'm saying, you didn't lusted all over the place, no stamina, and you basically are feeling like if you don't get what you want that night, you gon' like the top is gonna come off the pot. You know what I'm saying? You flying out the restaurant saying your time was wasted, and it's ridiculous. What do you want? Figure that out. Because if you, and then on top of that, I ain't even getting to the point of laying with men. If you laying with men, then you know what I'm saying? That would explain why you complaining about women. Because, if that's what you want, then obviously, no, you're not going to like anything a woman does because you want a man. Figure it out. What, like, are you going to follow by your flesh, and you're just going to chase after your fleshly desires and give in to everything that your flesh is saying? Or are you going to go the righteous route and do what God says? And if you claim that you want to be the man of your household, you want to be the head of your house, then you need to act like it. And the head of the household don't sit around whining and complaining about what they don't like. They put action. They put action behind that. They don't want to be in a position to where they're with someone that they feel like they not making enough, or they feel like they can't do enough, or they feel like they can't. Then they put forth an effort to get to a position to where they can. And I'm just like that, and that's just real. Whatever it is, read the room. You know what I'm saying? There are so many careers. There's so many things that you can do. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. And to think that your best result and the best thing you can think of is, you know what, I give up on this altogether. I'm going to go ahead and travel to another country, possibly get into it with the men over there, with no way to protect myself, no way to, you know what I'm saying? Because they are going to get mad. Not, like, they will get mad, you know what I'm saying? You going to a different country, 9 out of 10, they feel some kind of way about you already, and then you going over there and you are looking for someone to take back to your country, and or, you know what I'm saying, looking to stay there, and like, whatever it is that you got planned. I just feel like God is saying, like, let's be real. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is whatever this toxic way of thinking and this toxic way of just feeling as though everything has to be your way, it is going to cause destruction. Just like here, when these priests of Baal went against Daniel and they just felt like they had it all in the bag and they were going to succeed him, they were proved wrong. God says, come out from there, you're going the wrong way. Okay, sitting around complaining and whining about what you want and how it should be done and standing around stumping on the floor is something a toddler does. Okay, grow up and figure it out. That's what men do. Men have to figure it out. A man being the head of household, he's gonna have to figure out several things. That something goes wrong in the house, he's gonna have to figure it out. Either he is gonna have to figure out how to fix it, or he is gonna have to call somebody to come and fix it. And then he's gonna have a way to pay them to fix it. But he is gonna have to find some kind of way to figure it out. And if you are not putting forth any effort to actually come up with like some kind of way to fix these problems, you are just basically racing towards destruction. For whoever this is for, I just feel like God is saying, in reality, like this is not something that I just feel like it is. Don't stress yourself about it. In reality, like I said, you know what I'm saying? These are, I don't argue with anybody. As y'all already know, in the comment section, I'm not going back and forth with nobody. I'm not fighting with nobody. You know what I'm saying? There have been times when I received messages prior to someone getting ready to want to do this, that, and the third, and it would literally be God speaking to them, and it has happened. You know what I'm saying? There have been times when God would tell me to take a day off, and I wouldn't be concerned about it, and then I see later on somebody trying to argue with me, somebody trying to do this, that, and the third. I ain't gonna argue with nobody. I'm gonna be real. And I just feel like this here message is God is saying, don't you worry about it. Don't you stress about it. It will sort itself out. It will sort itself out. If this person insists on going down the wrong path and they are running, okay, like like a chicken with they want to run around in circles and they want to just keep racing, and you screaming, hey, if you keep running that way, you're gonna run into that wall, and they telling you, no, ain't no wall over there. You don't know what you talking about. I'm going the right way, and they still running, and you like, yo, if you hit that brick wall, you gonna hurt yourself. I don't know, you don't know what you talking about. I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. And they just keep going. You say, hey, if you don't slow down, the force that you running kind of fast, you gonna really hurt yourself. Oh, one day you don't know what you talking about. That. God said, let them carry on. They trying to fight you and argue with you and talk down on you and look at you sideways and give you evil eye, and they just acting a complete fool. God said, let them hit the wild end. Let them hit it. Let them hit it. They'll figure it out. They will figure it out. They will have to. This is a situation. They are going to be forced to realize that they are doing something wrong. It is going to be forced. They are going to realize that something is not right. They're going to realize that they were wrong. Okay, they're going to have to see it. And it is what it is. Just like in this story, Daniel wasn't stressed out. He wasn't worried. He went into the lion's den and he sat there and he looked at the lions and the lions looked at him. And he looked at the lions and the lions looked at him and they left him alone. God said, don't stress yourself. Don't worry yourself. Don't, and don't coddle nobody. Okay, I don't know why. For somebody, don't coddle nobody. Let a man be a man. Let a man be a man. That is part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? As a mother, I love, and a mother of a son, I love my son to bits and pieces. I do. Period. But it is not a good thing for a boy that is growing and eventually to become a man to be treated like Y'all want to know what God's saying. But treat like a princess. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I don't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love my son. I do what I can for my son. It ain't a situation where I treat him like he's, like anything like that. But I just feel like at a certain age, I just feel like you have to understand that a man has to be a man. He has to do man things. He has to obtain some kind of responsibility. He has to actually turn into a responsible adult. And if you are not allowing your son to become responsible and be responsible, like you are hindering them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Which, sometimes I understand. You know what I'm saying? I understand because as a mom, I love my baby, and you know what I'm saying? His dad has to be like, you don't do that. He's a boy. He's a boy. He's a boy. He's fine. He's a boy. He's a boy. He's a boy. He's a boy. And it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I understand. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that it is very important for young boys that are becoming men to have their fathers in their life for this very reason. Because as women, we are naturally nurturers. And it is sometimes, because we don't have the experience of knowing what it's like to be a man and knowing what it's like to be a boy, we don't, we have difficulty with some things. And, I'm not saying that it's anybody's fault, because sometimes you don't have a choice. I know some women don't have a choice, and they have no choice but to raise their son by themselves, their boy that is soon to become a man. They have no choice but to raise them alone. And, it's sad, but I truly feel like for whoever this is for, God is saying, do not stress yourself. Do not worry yourself about this man that is trying to make you feel like you doing what you have to is a problem. I don't know if this is a man that is trying to make you feel like you shouldn't be working, or if he's trying to make you feel like you don't deserve your business, or he's trying to make you feel like you shouldn't have the education you have, or what it is. But I just feel like this is someone, and you're at a loss for words in this matter. God is saying, do not stress yourself. Or if you are in a position to where maybe you were dating someone and they started acting funny with you, or they started acting weird with you, they are maybe bothered or offended by what you do for a living. They are bothered or offended by maybe how much you make, or whatever it is. I just feel like it is not a situation where it is your fault. And likewise, if this is a man and you are, you know what I'm saying, trying to pursue someone, but you feel like you are bothered by anything of the latter, what they do, how they, you know what I'm saying, especially, obviously, I'm not talking about doing something sinful, okay? I'm not talking about somebody that is, doing any kind of promiscuous, lustful, or any activity like that, okay? But I'm talking about somebody that has a respectable job. They make their money honestly. They are not doing something that is, with any ill intent, but they, they're doing like they're doing what they got to do. And I just feel like, you cannot get mad at someone for basically doing what they need to. If personally, you're not gonna pay their bills, that you are, gonna feel some kind of way about paying for going out to eat, and you're gonna feel some kind of way about this, that, and the third. You're not finna, if they say they want to get their nails done, you gonna, I don't got no money for that. They say they want to get their hair done, you don't know where the money for that coming from either. Then you can't get upset when they, have some kind, they do something, they go and get a job, or they start a business, or whatever it is they choose to do to earn an income. And simultaneously, you can't get mad at whatever it is, regardless to even if it is something that makes more than you. It is what it is. Okay? And that's the message. I just feel like God is saying that whoever this man is, whatever he got going on, he is running towards a brick wall. He is running towards that brick wall very fast, and he is quickly going to realize that he got it all the way wrong. And that's the message. That's the message. That's the message. That's the message. He got it wrong. He is confused. He got it wrong. He got it wrong, and he is confused. And you know, like I said, if he wants certain things and he wants you to be a certain way and he wants life to be a certain way, then he needs to make provisions for that. And if he is not putting forth any efforts to make any provisions for that, then he just gonna have to get over it. That's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Deuces.